Module 1 Motivation, Meaning, Nature, Determinants of Motivation. Prepared and presented by M. Sharada, PhD Scholar, Part-Time, Department of Educational Psychology, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Karapakkam, Chennai 97. Guided by Dr. P. N. Lakshmi Shanmugam, Assistant Professor, Department of Educational Psychology, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Karapakkam, Chennai 97. Introduction. A small bird collects the materials to build its nest in the upper corner of our drawing room. We try to remove it as soon as we see it. The bird, however, again brings the small pieces of straw, leaves, etc. and gets back to building its nest. What makes it work so hard? Why did it learn to build the nest? Similarly, we see a student slogging day and night during exams day, or a boy constantly trying to learn cycling even after getting many cuts and bruises. What makes them engage in one or the type of learning and continue their effort even after facing many handicaps and obstacles? In this image shows the hard work of the bird to build the nest. Answers to such questions related to the why of the learning lie in a keyword motivation. The bird which is building its nest, the student who is studying hard, and the boy who is learning to cycle all do so because of the motivation. They learn because they are motivated to learn. They act because they are persuaded to act in order to satisfy their basic needs and attain the desired goals. There is something that energizes or compels them to act and behave in a specified way. Motivation includes the attitude, success, performance, supports, idea, and goals. The question arises as to what is it that pursues and pulls an individual to move or act in a specified manner to attain the desired objectives. In psychology, it is named as motive. A motive drives our behavior in the same way as motor vehicle is driven by the fuel and its tank. Motivation is not only the important in its own right, it is also an important predictor of learning and achievement. Student teachers who are motivated to learn persist longer, produce higher quality effort, learn and teach more deeply, and perform better in classes and on their achievements. Learning objectives. After completing this module in Moodle platform, the student teachers are able to recall the concept of learning, define motivation, describe the concepts of motivation, identifies the characteristics of motivation, list out the characteristics of motivation, understand the use of motivation, explain the concept of motivation, develop the attitude to motivate the self and the students, collect the pictures of motivation. Learning objectives. After completing this module in Moodle platform, the student teachers are able to recall the concepts of learning, define motivation, describes the concept of motivation, identifies the characteristics of motivation, list out the characteristics of motivation, understand the use of motivation, explain the concept of motivation, develop the attitude to motivate the self and the students, collect the pictures for motivation.
There is no elevator to success. You gotta take the stairs. If you find meaning in quotes like this, put them right up where you will see them every day. Here are another 13 tips to get started. Ask why. If we don't know why we are doing it, then we don't see a point. Whether we want to make a career, change the world, or prove some idiots wrong, these are all great reasons to get going. Simon Sinek spoke of the golden circle. First ask why, then how, and what. If you don't have a purpose right now, pick up a skill that helps you once you do, like reading fast, learning how to learn, or public speaking. Know about the Dunning-Kruger effect. The theory describes that many of us are too confident when we learn something new. Once we actually start learning, we realize how difficult it is and how incompetent we are. As a result, our motivation drops and many of us quit. The trick to success is to keep going anyway. Once we master an area, our confidence returns. Look for feedback. Marathon runners know that encouraging spectators can make a massive difference on the last meters. Feedback is a strong force, so deliberately seek it. One way, just ask for advice. Most people love giving it. It makes them feel smart. Entrepreneurs who look for investors say, ask for money, you'll get advice. Ask for advice, you'll get money. Articulate your values. In one experiment at the beginning of the new school year, 7th graders had to pick a personal value, such as being good at school, making friends, or music. Then they spent 15 minutes writing down why this mattered to them. To remind them, the process was repeated every 2 to 4 months. Within 2 years, most weak students saw a 10% increase in all grades. A year later, the experiment was repeated. This time, the value being good at school was not even available. The surprising truth, again, all grades got better. Remind yourself what you really care about. Get a mentor. Look for charismatic people you can look up to. By following a mentor, we can find inspiration, get new ideas, maybe even find purpose. You might be able to find them around the block. For a list of our favorite mentors, check our website or the descriptions below. Don't make excuses. To see if you do, Bernard Roth from the Stanford's D School teaches to reframe problems by asking yourself this particular question. What would it do for me if I had already solved the problem? For example, if you think you're fat, then ask yourself, what would it do for me if I would lose weight? If the answer is that you would ask that cute girl out on a date, then forget about losing weight and ask her out on a date. Prime yourself. Canadian researchers observed that salesmen in call centers can be 50% more successful when they see pictures that represent success while making their calls. The effect is called priming. Most of us become smarter in a library because we tend to be more thoughtful, and many feel more successful when we dress well, stand up straight with our arms out and our heads held high. Make bets. Make your life a game and take bets. Groups of pretty people do that all over the world to lose weight. The one who can't lose 2 kilos in 6 weeks has to buy cupcakes for everyone. But it also works for reading books or challenging yourself to ask a girl out for dinner. Track your record. Records show us where we are coming from. They indicate progress. Good music teachers record the students' first lesson. 1 year later, they show their students what they recorded. Most are amazed how much they progressed. As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Start small. When we put effort into something and we succeed, we are motivated to continue. It's a self-reinforcing circle. If we aim too high right at the beginning, it's likely that we will fail. This can lead to frustration, and we might stop before we even get started. Want to learn how to sing? Start with 5 minutes every morning. Surround yourself with positive people. Author Jim Rohn wrote that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. To get motivated, spend time with positive people that have a growth mindset. Negative people often have a problem for every solution. Get context. If you need to study maths, but your passion is sports and cooking, analyze your favorite football player. Find out how many kilometers he runs and how many goals he scores on average. Then calculate calories and make a healthy meal that would give him enough energy to score 2 goals in 1 game. Help others. If they succeed, you get positive energy back. One trick to motivate others is to use purpose. Explain why things matter. Paint a picture of their possible future. Then engage them to take responsibility. Last, give them the right tools and feedback to help them succeed. Leadership coach Steve Radcliffe calls it Future, Engage, Deliver. Establish discipline. As motivation can come and go, discipline will stay and watch you like a hawk. One way to get disciplined is to set a fixed time to do something and then make sure you always do it no matter what. For example, work out every morning for 20 minutes right before breakfast. Over time, it will become a habit and you don't even need motivation. If you have to do something important or make a big decision, switch off YouTube right now and do it. As internet activist Aaron Swartz asked, "What is the most important thing you could be working on right now? And if you aren't working on that, why aren't you?" If you like our videos and want to support our channel, visit us at patreon.com/sprouts and see if you want to donate just $1. With your support, we plan to create many more minute videos about learning and education.
Motivation meaning. Motivation is the very heart of the learning process. Adequate motivation not only sets the motion, the activity which results in learning, but also sustains and directs it. It has been stated, motivation arouses interest. Interest is the mother of attention and attention is the mother of learning. It has been stated, motivation arouses interest. Interest is the mother of attention and attention is the mother of learning. Page shows the motivation. To secure learning, you must first catch the mother, grandmother and great-grandmother. Motivation is an indispensable technique for learning. It energizes and accelerates the behavior of learner. Desirable changes in learner's behavior are only possible when a learner is properly motivated. No learning is possible without motivation. No learning is possible without motivation. The word motivation has been derived from the Latin word movas, which means to move. Motivation is an internal force which accelerates a response or behavior. Some learners learn the same subject matter or task more efficiently than others. Some find it more rewarding and interesting than others, and some enjoy it more than others. At any given time, learners vary in the extent to which they are willing to direct their energies to the attainment of goals due to difference in motivation. This image shows the struggling to achieve their goals. If they motivated themselves, they will be attain their goals easily. Tremendous research has been conducted on motivation in the last 5 decades, and a number of definitions and theories have been given to explain motivation. K.B. Madsen in 1975 in his book Theory of Motivation has given 24 definitions and theories of motivations which provide different explanations of learning and human behavior. Definitions of motivation. C.F. Skinner in 1947, motivation in school learning involves arousing, persisting and directing desirable behavior. Motivation in school learning involves arousing, persisting and directing desirable behavior. This image shows the desirable behavior in the classroom. J. P. Guilford in 1950, a motive is any particular internal factor or condition that tends to initiate and sustain activity. If we want to reach the goal, we should initiate and sustain activities with internal factors. Finding good problems, solving those problems, implementing solutions is the example for creative process. A.H. Maslow in 1954 defines motivation as constant, never-ending, fluctuating and complex, and that it is an almost universal characteristic of particularly every organismic state of affairs. Success includes courage, confidence, motivation, intelligence and creativity. These are all the factors of success. W. A. Kelly in 1955 defines motivation as the central factor in the effective management of the process of learning. Some type of motivation must be present in all learning. See, this image shows the conflicts faced by the man to achieve their success with the help of motivation. L. D. Crow and A. Crow in 1962 defines motivation as considered with the arousal of the interest in learning and to that extent is basic to learning. Lowell in 1964 defines motivation in school learning involves arousing, persisting, sustaining and directing desirable behavior. It will be includes the existence, growth, relatedness in a theory. Carroll in 1969 defines a need gives rise to one or more motives. A motive is a rather specific process which has been learned. It is directed towards a goal. It will be includes the creativity, performance, math, science, problem solving, artistic, visual, verbal, interpersonal and entrepreneurial. D. O. Hebb in 1975, the term motivation refers to existence of an organized phase sequence, to its direction and content, and to its persistence in given direction or stability of content. C. W. Good in 1973 defines motivation is the process of arousing, sustaining and regulating activity. This image shows the motivation to learn. It will be divided into two types like extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivation is the example for operant conditioning, social cognition. Intrinsic motivation includes the example for cognition, affect, cognition, biology, spiritual. Nature of motivation. The motivation is a psychophysiological concept or the internal process which initiates and directs the activity. Lowell gives emphasis in an internal factor for motivation. Motivation includes attitude, success, performance, support, idea and goal. Motivation is defined more formally as psychophysiological or internal process initiated by some need which lead to activity which will satisfy that need. First one is it is psychophysiological phenomenon. Second one is it is an internal condition or process or factor of the learner. Third one is It initiates or sustains the learner's activity. Fourth one is it orients and directs the responses of the learner towards the desired objectives. Fifth one is it controls and regulates the learner's response. Sixth one is it provides the energy and accelerates the behavior of the learner. Seventh one is it releases the tension and satisfies the needs of the learner. Most of the psychologists, Boring, Murray, Maslow and others have emphasized the need as an important factor for human learning. Terminology of motivation. There are several terms which are used for the concept of motivation, but these terms have their specific meaning, hence it is essential to understand the meaning of these terms. They are as follows. Motive. Motives are conditions, psychological and physiological within the organisms that dispose it to act to certain ways. Tell by McDougall. There are several terms which are used for the concept of motivation, but these terms have their specific meaning. Hence, it is essential to understand the meaning of these terms. They are as follows. Motive. Motives are conditions, psychological and philosophical within the organism that dispose it to act to certain ways. McDougall. Subjective feelings are called rewards. Core psychological processes like want. These are the examples. Liking reactions to sweet taste. This image shows the liking reactions to sweet taste. Disgust reactions to bitter taste. These are all the parts involved in the stimulation of brain. Drive. A drive is an intra-organic activity for conditions of tissue supplying stimulations for particular type of behavior. This is the example, shows the particular type of behavior. Healthy and digested tissues. Culture. 3D selects culture. Materials tunable stiffness. A drive is concerned with the psychological condition of an organism which encourages him for a specific behavior. Incentive. Incentive is an object or an external condition perceived as capable of satisfying an aroused motive that tends to elicit actions to attain that object or condition. Incentive is an object or external condition perceived as capable of satisfying an aroused motive that tends to elicit actions to attain that object or condition. In this image, it shows the winner of a man decides what they want to get, an appraisal or a reward. It is an reward is an incentive for that man. Interest. It is a tendency to give selective attention to one activity or activities rather than to others. This image shows the interest of a girl. Curiosity. It is different from interest because interest implies a selective to certain activities, whereas curiosity implies the tendency to investigate and seeks to learn more about new objects with which there was on previous experiences. This curiosity depends upon the past, future and present. Goal. The end result, immediate or remote, which the individual seeks is his goal. This image shows the goal attainment of a particular thing. Words in our everyday vocabulary refers to pupils' motives. Some of more common ones are wants, striving, desire, need, motive, goal, aspiration, drive, wish, aim, ambition, hunger, thirst, love, and revenge. Many of them can be defined with reasonable precision and thus prove useful in the scientific study of motivation. The general term referring to states that motivate behavior to the behavior motivated by these state and to the goals or end of such behavior. These are the aspects of motives. Motivating states, motivated behavior, and motivating conditions. Motivating states, motivating behavior, and motivating conditions. It will be the help of confidence, work, success, hard, motivation, intelligence, and creativity. The motivational cycle. First, a motive, it may arise from a need defined as a lack of something required for the survival, health, or well-being of the individual. Physiological need, hunger, thirst, sex. The second stage of the motivational cycle is the behavior that is investigated by the motive or drive. The behavior is usually instrumental sooner or later in reducing the motive or drive. Motivational cycle includes goal, need, drive, and the incentive, and then it will be go to the first stage: goal, need, drive, incentive. Third stage of the motivational cycle is the reduction or satisfaction of the drive or motive. This is ordinarily achieved by reaching some goal. Goals naturally depend on the kind of drive that is active. If a person is motivated by hunger, his goal is food. Goals may be either positive or negative. Goals may be either positive or negative. This image shows the picture like motivational effects with the positive or negative efforts. The man searches his food with the positive way with the help of their hunger, that is thirst. Motivation in learning. The motivation has much effect on learning. In the absence of motivation, either there will be no learning or very little learning, and the learned activity shall be forgotten very soon. On the other hand, sufficient motivation will release energy in the process of learning. Motivation include expectancies, goal, values, environment, all the things. The motive gives energy for the continuation of the process of learning. It is due to motive that the student goes on studying attentively for weeks, months, and years. Just look at a boy desires of learning how to cycle, and you can very easily see the fact of motivation in this activity. He tries to learn cycling with perfect attention and with all his energy. He fails several times and gets cuts and bruises. But he does not cease to make efforts. If he does not succeed in one way, so long as he does not learn cycling. After he learns cycling, a restlessness is seen in him, so much so that he often dreams of cycling. After he learns cycling, he seems to be very happy and seen cycling now and then, here and there. Example, this is the example for cycling with the effort of hard work. This importance of motivation in learning has been widely utilized in education. A good teacher teacher tries to excite, motive and the students before beginning some new chapter or before asking them to learn some new work. In this image, the teacher motivates the students to learn new topic with the support of new stories, experiments, real explanations, real-time examples, etc. As he succeeds in doing so, half of the work is over because now he has only to guide the child. The rest the child learns himself the rest. Learning is a voluntary activity. In this image shows the voluntary activity of learning new things. The more difficult a subject of learning is, the more power will be required to learn it, and consequently the more motivation is required for it. The more difficult a subject of learning is, the more power will be required to learn it, and consequently the more motivation is required for it. Motivation is all the part of power, opportunity, determination, support, goal, challenge, incentive and development. Motivation is not only required in teaching but also in learning for oneself. Hence, an intelligent student develops motivation in his or her studies. By motivation, the learning becomes active. In it, the interest and attention are spontaneous. More work is done in less time, and a thing learned once is remembered forever. More work is done in less time is the example for attention and spontaneous motivation for the. Motivation has the same place in learning as energy in mechanical function. Motivation has the same place in learning as energy in mechanical function. If the learning process, motivation is the only mechanical function. Educational implications. The syllabus and curriculum have been designed in accordance with the pupils' interest and capacity. Hence, the teacher has to help the students as facilitator to learn the lessons in an effective manner. Hence, the individualized instruction and close supervision are needed. The syllabus and curriculum have been designed to accordance with the pupils' interest and capacity. Hence, the teacher has to help the students as a facilitator to learn the lessons in an effective manner. Hence, the individualized instruction and close supervision are needed in the educational system. The capacity of knowledge promotes the motivation of the students to achieve success in her or his ambitions. Hence, a teacher has to impart knowledge whenever possible at class hours. Experiments show that they stimulates the students to achieve greater results. The capacity of knowledge promotes the motivation of the students to achieve success in her or her ambitions. Hence, a teacher has to impart knowledge whenever possible at class hours. Experiments show that they stimulates the students to achieve greater results. The aim or objective is to be made clear to the students. They will develop their intention and will make serious efforts to learn properly. Hence, the teacher has to channelize their attention first towards their objectives. The aim or objective is to be made clear to the students. They will develop their intention and will make serious efforts to learn properly. Hence, the teacher has to channelize their attention first towards their objectives. Self-assessment. Motivation is a dash process. Motivation is a dash process. Conflicts and frustrations are part of dash process. Conflicts and frustrations are part of dash process. Motivation forms into dash types. Motivation forms into dash types. Option A 3, option B 4, option C 5, option D 6. Motivation is a lifelong process, true or false? Motivation is a lifelong process, true or false? What are the three characteristics of motivation? What are the three characteristics of motivation?